is all a bunch of BS. We already know that. Ain't no such thing. Ain't happened. The Africans are the minds of this. The Africans in collective, if the African collective come together, the world would, the rest of them would collapse and fall at your feet. They know these things. They know. We have to keep the African where they're at, because if they wake up, what are we gonna do? There's nothing for them to do more than come and beg, because nothing doesn't belong to them, and they know that. That's why I'm saying that we have to be disciplined in all of this. We have to become self-disciplinarian. And so the more disciplined we are, the more focused we become. We really start to see our path more clearly and precisely and how we need to move. This is what I'm saying. They will never destroy the African. They try. They've been trying. They've been doing the same thing for more than 400 years and still they can't succeed. They tried every different angle, because we are the true indigenous people of Earth. We are. Let no one fool you, and everyone know that. Every language that you hear, speak on this planet, it comes out of Africa. I don't care where they speak it. They stole the African, everything from the African, and they manipulate it and make it into their own. And they tell you that, oh yeah, we originate this, we originate that. They did not originate a single thing. I'm telling you, people talk about, oh, you know, these Asians, they are brilliant surgeons and they're the greatest martial arts. Lie. Those are all lies. The greatest martial art people are Africans. And if you get with these Japanese, these whole monks and all these people from Japan that will tell you the truth, they'll tell you who you are as an African. If they know that you know yourself, they will sit down and they will tell you things that will make the hair on your head really stand up.
It was a black man that taught them. It was a Dravidian man of Cushitic lineage from Africa.
Exactly.
And it was originally called 108 moves. 108 moves, and when he taught them that, it turned into kung fu and then martial arts and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
Bodhidharma, look that up. Bodhidharma.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So everything that they have, they know where it's come from. These people in India, they'll tell you about their gurus and all these things, and they'll tell you about meditation. Ask them where it come from. If they're not, why does these Africans live in India and places like that, and they want to hide them from everybody? They don't want you to know that they live there. They have some of them they call the untouchable, because they know that everything they learn is from the African. You see what I'm saying is, all of them know that. But yet, what they are doing to the African, isn't it a shame that you are what they call the God? Right? And you don't know that. They give you this image and tell you that somebody is up in the sky who look like them. And that's what you are aspiring to be. And that's where you're aspiring to go. That's what I'm saying. You're looking for you all the time and you don't know, because they got you turned around, upside down.
What is that, like the John Henry Clark, he said, you're imitating the imitator.
You see what I'm saying? That's exactly the point. It's like almost like trying to be your shadow. Are you running it down, trying to catch it? It's an illusion, man. And that's the place that we get caught up in, and that's the place that we want to stay, and we will die for that place. Most of our people, I'm not even gonna say we, because I'm not one of them. And I'm not sure that all three of us sitting at this table is not one of them. What I'm saying is, most of our people, they will fight you tooth and nail for wanting to be, for trying to show them, listen, this is the real thing here. Over here is the imitation. But they're giving up the real, they will give up the real thing any time of the day or night for the imitation. You see what I'm saying? The imitation have, when you go to buy a piece of artwork, what's the main thing that you want to see if you're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a piece of artwork that they say this is original? Why do they call it original? Because there's only one like it. There's no other like the original piece. They can make copies of it who look like it, but it's not it. It can never be. No matter how well the person copy it, it will never be the original piece. It just can't. There's things about that piece that only the true artist who created it in the first place that knows about it. And he can come and show you in details. But most of us, we see the real thing and think it's the fake all the time. Because we don't have an eye for it. We can't connect. That's what I'm saying. Once this is liberated, it's a beautiful thing, man.
I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't. Once you wake up, no going back to sleep.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You come to this place, and that's why I tell people. It is like a dog returning to eat its own vomit if you go back to where you're coming from. Why would you want to? Why would you even have any? I know there's no money in the world. There's nothing in this world that you could offer me to accept that garbage. Because it's like eating vomit. That's basically what it amounts to. If I return to all that garbage that I thought at some point in my life that was something. Because it's always been questionable. And that's the point what I'm saying. If something is true and something is good, nobody have to force you to do it. The fact that somebody have to force you to do something, that means something is wrong with it. Because your inner self is telling. You know why you don't want to do it? Because your inner self is fighting against it. Your inner self is telling you, no, I'm not doing that. That's why you didn't want to go to church. That's why some of us never even want to go to school. Because your inner self is saying this is not good for you. This is not right. And we fight against it with, and your parents come and they try to force it on you, and you know it's just not gelling. So when you come to this place where we're at, nobody ain't gotta force you to do this. You want to do it. You enjoy doing it. You enjoy living this way. Yep. You enjoy being free. Yep. That's what I'm saying. There's no forced will here. Yep. That's the funny thing. Isn't it amazing that, people that, all these people that get caught up in religion and all these difference, do you realize that a great deal of them are not happy in no way, shape, or form? They're miserable. And you look at them, you look at the women, they have to be wearing all the makeup, the hair, and the lipstick, and everything else, and whatever you can imagine. The husband is not going to church. They're not happy with the husband because the husband is not even getting any praise for anything that he's doing, but they're giving it to a man who don't even look like them and don't even look like the husband. Even though the husband is working hard, paying the bills and doing whatever, all they do is complain. Pastor, my husband, he won't come to church. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know this, and I don't know that, and I don't know when he's going to get it. But here's a man that he get up every day and make sure that you and your children are provided for, and all you do is complain on him. And this so-called Jesus who never done nothing for you, you give him all the praise. Isn't that a sad state of affair? This Jesus never done nothing for you, but the husband or the boyfriend who she leave at home and going to church is always working, trying to pay the bills and making sure she and the children are happy, and all she do is complain about him because he's not going to church. He's the God that is providing, and yet all she do is complain about him. That's the situation. That's the sadness of this whole thing. That the fact is that it's right in front of you all the time. The truth is always in front of you, and yet you're ignoring it. You're not accepting that this is the truth I'm looking at. This is the truth I'm dealing with. Give this man praise for what he's doing. That's who you should be getting down on your knees for and thanking him every day. Say, look, man, I am grateful that you get up and you go to work to make sure me and these kids, I never see no Jesus, but I see you every day. I see what you bring into the table every day. I never see Jesus put a plate of food on the table. And yet, if that man does not go out and work, then what did she do? It make it worse, because now she have more to complain about.
Oh, man.
You see what I'm saying? So, even though it's right in front of them, that's why I said it's not uncommon sense. It's not common sense, it's uncommon sense. Because if it was common, everyone would have it, and it would make life so much easier to deal with. Because immediately, the husband would recognize himself and know himself, and the wife would do the same. And they wouldn't be a pest to each other. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said our people are the real thing. They are the host and thinking that they are the parasite and wanting to be the parasite. It's a sick situation. And yet it's so simple. But yet it's so complicated. Because the system that they live in, which is the matrix, which is a system of totally controlled chaos, and they accepted that for truth, when the truth is always staring them in your face. That's why when people look at you and tell you, oh, there's my truth, and there's your truth, and there's this other truth, no. That's for that, when a conscious person, when a person that tell you that he's spiritually awake and conscious, and that come out of his mouth, you know he's not, or she is not. You know that. It can't be.
Exactly.
How is it going to be?
Yeah.
You first thing, you're going to shake your head and think, something is wrong with you. Oh, wow. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. So, it is for us to come to this place where we can think logically. You see what I'm saying? Look at things that make sense. Put it together and see the simplicity in it. Because life is simple. And if it wasn't for these aliens, I have to say, then life would not be as complicated as it is. But at the same time, as I said, for me personally, I am still grateful for all of this. And a person might look, why are you grateful? Because it's a teaching tool for me. It's training for me. I've come into this. You see what I'm saying? Just like when I take up a piece of gold and I decide that I'm gonna make it, I want the real thing, because this is a fresh piece of gold that is coming out of the earth, and I want to see the real beauty. So I'm gonna put fire underneath it in order for it to come to the surface. That's what I must do. So I am the gold. You are the gold. All of us are the gold. But the fact is that we must go through the fire in order to come clean on the other side. If the clam does not squeeze up against the rock, so to speak, you see what I'm saying? And the irritation take place. How is it? They never can form a pearl. It takes irritation. That means it takes hard work and calculation for you to come to the place that you find yourself. There's no comfort in that. There is no comfort in growth. If you come to a place of comfort, there is no growth. That is death. When you look in the matrix and they tell you, oh, work until retirement. As soon as you see people retire, what happened to them? They're dead in a few years, most of the time. You see what I'm saying? I don't never want to be comfortable. No, I don't need that. If it's comfort, then for me to sit down and just, oh, I'm just gonna rock in my chair and I'm gonna enjoy life. What is that?
It's not enjoying.
Is what I'm saying. There's no enjoyment in that. There's none, zero. Go to the gym and just stand there and look at the weights and see if you can gain any muscle. Or go to a track and look at people running and think that you're gonna become fast. Is what I'm saying is, but when you try to show our people just simple logic, that this is how it works. You see what I'm saying is, this is how it works. My thing is, as I said, we deal with the principle of attraction because I personally know that there is, when it comes to the universe, when it comes to nature, when it comes to, you know, Mother Earth and all of this, there is no laws, there is principles, because you can't change the principle. You have to look at it and see it, that the laws that they put in effect is for subjugation. It is to subjugate and control you. That's what it's there for. It's not there to help you. It's there to keep you where you're at. That's why when they know that you know who you truly are, think they're gonna mess with you? They'll leave you the hell alone. The only thing that they can do is try to get you off this plane as fast as they can. That's all they will try to do. Because when they see your people start waking up, they get in a frenzy, man. They're like wasps that get irritated. That's how they become. And this is the stage that you're seeing right now. They are like when wasps are being irritated. That's why they're doing what they're doing right now. Because they realize the indigenous people of Earth is all awakened. They are awakening. And that is the problem. It's a problem for them. They knew it was coming. Is what I'm saying. They planned for it. But it came up on them faster than they expected. So they have to start to make their moves very rapidly. Is what I'm saying. And that's what we have to do now. We have the time. So we shouldn't in a panic. We shouldn't sit down and thinking like, man, jeez, you know, man, this is some terrible stuff, man. What am I gonna do? No, this is not time for you to run underneath the bed. This is time for you to really think. This is time for you to figure it out. Everything is stopped for you. You see what I'm saying? Everything is stopped for you, for us as a people, that we can really sit down and think and figure our way out. You are at a crossroad right now. That's where our journey is come to. Are you gonna continue in the path that you are? Are you gonna make a U-turn? Are you gonna deviate? Realize that you've been going the wrong way. That's what I'm saying. I know this is not for me because I'm on the path and I know the way. That's what I'm saying. I know my purpose. I know who I am. So all these things for me, yes, I'm there. So that's the bottom line. You see, so all of these people that sit up there right now and are worrying, all of our people, I should say, not these people, but our people that is sitting up there and worrying and running down to get tests for wonder if I have this sickness, I want to. No, you shouldn't be doing that. That's not the time that you get to be figuring out if you have coronavirus or not. This is the time for you to figure out who you truly are and what you need to do. Is what I'm saying is, this is not the time for you to wonder if Jesus is coming or not. It's time for you to put your hand down in your throat and vomit all of that garbage out. That's what you do.
Throw it in the garbage.
Yes. That's what you have to do, because the fact is that it ain't never going to happen. Never in 100 lifetime, in 200 lifetime, that ain't never going to happen. It ain't gonna happen. Because it's just a story that somebody make up to keep you in a matrix, or you're in a maze. You know when you're in a maze? If you don't really stop and think, do you know that you will not get out of that maze? You'll keep going around in the same circle because everything look alike. But the funny thing is everything does not really look alike. It's just your mind playing you. Because you're not paying attention. Because every corner you go, something is there to identify your way out of that maze, but you're not paying attention. You're moving so fast because now you're panicking. And this maze is so huge. And all you're doing, you're not slowing down. You're going faster and faster trying to get out of the maze. So exactly. It's causing you more confusion, more irritation, and more stress. You're getting sick and you're getting weak. And you're gonna die right there in the maze if you don't slow down and think. Constantly you gotta, and that's why you gotta be around like-minded people like yourself. Don't be around people. Listen, why you take a dull steel to try to sharpen another dull piece of equipment? You see what I'm saying? You want a steel that is good to sharpen a good machete or a good knife. Don't waste it on a piece of steel that is no good, because you'll be there sharpening all day and nothing happening. You feel the mouth of it that you used to cut, and guess what? It's like it's never, and you start to get mad with yourself. But when you get a piece of steel, there's ways to test that steel. We have ways of testing the steel to see if the steel is worth it or not. Before I even buy a knife, I have a way of testing that knife to see if it's good or not. Because I have a way to listen to that knife. You see what I'm saying? But you gotta be in tune. Which most of us are not in tune with anything at all. The only thing you are in tune with is the matrix. You come home, you watch a television that keep telling lie to you, and the propaganda get bigger and bigger every day, and you suffer more and more, and you go deeper, deeper down into the maze, and you can't get out. You see what I'm saying? You're totally confused. You see, I can tell you this. I've never seen nothing that Jesus done for anybody that I know. Nothing. And I've known a lot of people throughout my lifetime that's been going to church and been praying, and I ain't never seen nothing done for none of them. Just like I said before, if it's a simple calculation, a simple mathematics, because everything have to do with maths, everything have to do with numbers. Without no numbers, how can you formulate things? There is no formula if you don't have numbers. And who come up with those things? It's not them. It's us. You see what I'm saying? So, what is it that we sit down all the time and worrying about? You worry about things because you don't know which direction to go. You don't know where to look. You don't know where to start. Okay? I'm saying go to yourself. Go into yourself. Because you will never please anyone until you please you. The pastor, I'm telling you again, when he want anything, he never goes to God, he goes to you. His ABC, he goes to you. And he demand it and you give him. But you're demanding from something that doesn't exist. So what you're gonna get? Nothing. He's demanding from something that exists. And what does he get? He get what he's asking for, or what he's telling them to give him. He get it every time. How come you don't get nothing? Because you asking from something, you asking for something physical from something that does not exist. You see what I'm saying? That's the place. Let the dead bury the dead, man.
There we go. Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? The dead bury the dead. And people don't understand that. You go to a funeral, you dress up in black. And what is it representing? Death. So dead people are representing dead people. You see what I'm saying? You go into a funeral, you go, somebody has transitioned. Why are you wearing black?
Right.
Oh, this is for mourning. You see, but we never even stop to check out those things. We never even stop to figure, where does that come from? Why should I wear black to go to see a person going down into the ground? I don't need to do that. Nah. I wear whatever I desire. Whatever my spirit tells me. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to do. You see? So I don't have time for all these semantics and antics that people come up with. I ain't got time for it, man. I don't waste time. Like I said, if a person come to me and start to talk a lot of garbage, I walk away. Because I don't, what am I going to stand there and do? And listen to that? Where's it going to get me? Nowhere. It's not.
Yeah.
You're wasting energy and you're wasting time. You know, my mother used to have her stepfather, which is a man that I had a great deal of appreciation for. And he made a statement. He said, listen, if you take a fool and you put him into a mortar and you beat him in the mortar, will he come out wise? No. He said he will come out a worse fool. So don't waste time trying to convince a fool that he's wise. That's what I'm saying. You got to leave him where he's at. Because you can't figure it out for him. He must figure it out for himself. That's what I'm saying. You're looking for you. So, if you don't find you, how can you tell me what to do? Doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm saying. All these things that we find and we face are necessary in order for us to learn. That's what I'm saying. If you don't have a fool, how do you know you're wise?
Right.
So is the fool necessary? Yes, he is necessary. But I don't need to sit down and have these conversations with him. You see what I'm saying? No. Once I meet him, I will know very quickly whether he or she is a fool or not.
Within about 4 minutes.
That much.
There you go. So that's what I'm saying is that when you come to the place of knowing instead of belief, you will stop immediately destroying yourself. Because that's what belief does. It destroys you. Because nothing that you believe in will materialize. It doesn't. Your reality, whatever you want in this life or you need, you are the only one that is going to provide it. If you think I'm lying, sit down here and say, I need a job. Jesus or God or whoever you worship, provide me a job. I don't need to go out and fill an application out. Somebody's going to call me tomorrow morning and the job is going to be there waiting on me.
That's true. Oh, man.
That's what I deal with simplicity. And the truth is very simple. That's why most people who call themselves intellectual, I call them the intellectual fools. Because the fact is that they just can't see through the simplest thing that is there. Because they go to these so-called colleges and come up with these big words that doesn't mean anything but a lot of jargon and a lot of stupidness. That's basically what they're coming at you with. That's why they can't sit down and explain it to you. When you reason, you must reason that a little child, a young child can understand exactly what you're saying and get sense out of it very quickly. Okay, that's how you teach somebody. So when you go to a school and they start using these big words, walk out of there. I'm telling you, a 5-year-old, when you teach somebody, you can take an adult and a 5-year-old and put them in the same space, and both of them will learn very quickly. If you're not going into all this garbage that they feed you that doesn't make any sense. As I tell people, the system, everything they do is to keep you in this place. They write a tax code. Why do they have to write a tax code? Why do they have to write these things that you have to get a lawyer to explain and to go and you have to pay money? Everything that you do, you have to pay money to get the full sense of things. Why? Why do everything is in fine print? Why do you have to do that? If they are honest, why would they need to do that?
And why do I have to explain myself to you? You didn't explain anything when you came here and slaughtered people and took what was theirs and then brung people over here who you had no business bringing over here.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm telling you. You live under a system of injustice and you call it a justice system. So if you're calling this thing a justice system, how can you get justice when it's built on nothing but injustice? So you're not awake. You see what I'm saying? Because you're already dead to them. Because you're speaking languages of the dead. You see what I'm saying? That's what you are doing and don't even know. That's what all of us did at some particular time and don't even know. That's how they have us. That's how they control us. Because how can the dead speak to the living? I can't. You see what I'm saying? So when you go into these things, and like I said, you know, when your spirit come to this place, and like I tell you, when you meet like-minded spirit, and the like-minded spirit, whatever is in you already that you know, that like-minded spirit come along and confirm to you that you're not stupid, brother, or you're not stupid, sister. You are real. And what you're thinking and what you know is the truth. Because it's always been there. You just need to awaken it. There's no answer outside of you. There's none. You think there is, but they ain't. You have all the answer. You see what I'm saying? That's why I tell people, you go sit down to take one of their so-called tests that they give you. Anything that your higher self tells you is the right answer, it always is. Go against that and see what happens. And I'm not talking about eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You sit down there and you look at all them. In every question, the answer lies there. The answer is in the question. At all times. But you reading it and you confused because you don't know that the answer is in the question that you read. So they're always playing games with you. They're playing with your mind. You see what I'm saying? Because that's why they give you these tests to know where you're at and where for them to place you in the system for their best benefit. So that's why you got to figure out things very quickly. For these people not to use you and confuse you. That's the thing.